Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock podcast,
where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I'd like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We've received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as haptoglobin and leprechaun artist. So I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Dr. London, it is my favorite time of the year.
Okay.
Layoffs.
Oh, yes. Okay. It always surprises me. It always surprises me when it comes.
It's summer cleaning, baby.
Yeah.
This, for the if you're a longtime listener, you already know this, but every summer we go through our current employees and we decide who to finally chop.
That's right. And we go through, I want to say, like, it's not just a meritocracy. I know people get annoyed at meritocracies. They're like, what, just because they do better than me or more efficient or more kind? No, for us, so many things come into play. There's
a ton of, well, we call it like the Dylan algorithm, because Dylan actually came up with the actual numbers. Yeah. But for example, if they can make a good casserole, that's 3 points.
Yeah.
If they can make a bad casserole, that's 4 points because it can be used in an ironic situation.
Yeah. And like the amount of if they can come up with ironic situations for the use of a casserole, that's 23 points. So like
that's 23 London points, but negative 23 Cameron points, because for me, the idea that someone else is coming up with genius irony other than myself,
that's frustrating,
is infuriating, which is ironic, but it's not.
But not enough to offset. I'd say also
it doesn't mean, that's not what the word means. Yeah, like that's not at all what the word means.
I'd say also we have, when Cameron needs therapy because of these things, whichever of our employees are best at giving therapy sessions to Cameron without charging him, best or most willing. Those are two criteria.
Or loudest, because sometimes I have my headphones on.
Yeah. So
that's a huge, I would say most bathroom breaks, that gets you a couple points. Least bathroom breaks, also a couple
longest
points. Really the main thing,
bathroom breaks.
Longest, fantastic, get up a couple points. Shortest, also a couple points. It's really about not staying in the middle. We need our employees on all sides of the extremes.
We want only outliers. That's what we want in our company.
Yeah.
So do you want to go first with who? Because for me, I know we have the algorithm, but I have also just put separate names down of people that I don't like.
Yeah, I would like to just go through the people. I want to talk about, your assistant.
Okay. That's honestly, that's top of my list as well. Gregory Tremlinson.
GT.
Yeah. So GD has been, I tell you, I want to yell a certain GD every time I see him.
That's awful. Yeah. That's an awful thing to say.
And he's been, so he brings me all these treats. He brings me, he knows that I like British candy, so he'll go to like the World Market. He'll buy British candy for me. And then if they don't have it there, he will call around the city, sometimes different states. A few times he's just traveled straight up to Great Britain to get the candy for me whenever he thinks, because basically it's to appease me when I'm in a bad mood. But, and it worked for a long time, but now I know that it's for when I'm in a bad mood, which puts me in a bad mood. So.
Oh, wow. And that's a -5 London
points. Yeah, -5.
That is +2 Cameron points, because I enjoy that, but you hate it more than I enjoy it, so it ends up being a net negative.
Yeah, well, and then, there are the employees who have brought out separate charts of just the London versus Cameron points, and those... that I've had trouble figuring out that algorithm, because
that one is a mystery to me as well, because sometimes it seems to go in sort of a spiral where they're like chasing each other, almost like two snakes chasing each other, and I don't know what that is.
Yeah, because I played the game with snakes chasing, and the rule. Well, I never understood those rules either. So yeah,
and this is one of those things where when we tried to consult Dylan about it, he uses his editing powers to edit out us asking him that question. We're talking in real life, not on the podcast.
Yeah. Oh,
he somehow has a way where, I spend 15 seconds asking him that question, and he's edited the real life reality.
Mm-hmm.
He's edited out those 15 seconds, so then they just don't happen.
Yeah. No, and I believe you
that
they must have happened.
It sucks.
Yeah. And that's part of why we moved into podcasting, because we thought like this editing skills can really come in handy somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like we could use it.
So, okay, all right, GD gone.
Yeah.
Now we got to talk about my assistant.
Ugh.
Who's Tristan Triply True.
Yeah.
TTT.
The triple T.
So, and this, I'm going to sort of blame you for this, because you hired him. You said, I met this great guy at the pound. Cameron, you specifically said for your assistant, you want someone that you can pawn a lot of dogs off to so you can adopt them. And then when you get bored with them, they will take them and then do whatever with them. Put them down, put them up. I don't really care. Make money off of it. Go viral. Oh, make a TikTok. I don't give a shit once I've given you the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But he's always like, hey, man, this dog that you gave me is really sick, is in a really, really bad state. Like, I would really help if you gave me some time off so I could take him to the vet. You are the one who handed me these 40, 50 dogs that I'm responsible for.
Okay.
And I keep telling him the same thing. Hurry up. Out of the bathroom. I want to be in the bathroom because we're having this discussion. I'm pounding on the door. This is how we have most of our discussions.
Well, it's where you keep your books. It's where you keep your magazines. It's where you keep that iPad. That is frustrating. I'd also say, like, you put some of the dogs in your will, right? So they stand to make money if you die.
That's what I've been telling him. Like, bro, a few of these people, like, I will give you a percentage of the money I get if, like, wait, are you, because it works both ways. Are you saying that I'm in the dog's wills or that the dogs are in my will? Because it's actually both. I was talking about if you die, the dogs inherit stuff. But I also know that the dogs have kind of cheated you a little bit financially as well, and it could go the other way. The dogs are extremely wealthy. That's why I got a little tripped up, because I'm sort of waiting out at least a few of these dogs so that I can get some of the money, and also knowing that once I go, that it'll at least go back to the dogs. And formerly TTT, Triple T's, but he's gone, so I'll just need a new assistant. So, All right, so that's $120,000 a year saved from our budget so far by getting rid of those two.
You need to get rid of $5 more. So,
I would say, so, okay, we have the sushi chef and we have the sashimi chef, both on retainer.
Why are you mentioning them?
Well, it's just, they're both worth exactly $5, and I just feel like we don't necessarily need both.
I'm trying to imagine one without the, so what if we get rid of something that we don't need, though? You know what I mean? Like, garbage removal, producers, like, do we need any of the microphones? How many of these do we need? Because we can share one.
Oh, you know what we don't need? Sorry, I forgot I was talking to you. We don't need like a doctor on the show. Doctors don't really do podcasts, so it doesn't really make sense that we're paying money to like a doctor. So if we got rid of you, we'd be right under budget, which is great. And finally, I can submit my report to DJ Dylan and he'll be happy. Finally.
Yes. I mean, I almost feel like me mentioning producers what triggered this thought for you of going after, but I do get what you mean.
Yeah, because it reminded me of the movie, The Producers, and how there's two main guys in that. And then I was thinking, well, there really only needed to be the one guy. What if it was just, Nathan Lane talking to himself?
That's right. He could have done all of it.
Yeah, that would have been a lot more fun. And so then I thought, like, who's the Nathan Lane of us two? That's going to be me, obviously.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's really hard. You make a really good argument here. And that would cut out $10 out of the budget, which, like, just from the business standpoint, that's like even better than it would have been. Because for you, that would have been $20,000 we would have had to save. So,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. And who cares about that?
Okay, so I'm gonna be fired as our GD and Triple T, and I think that's the summer. That's the summer fun. And later, Cameron tells me that we can expect a special guest.
That's right, Dr. London.
All right, so do look forward to that. But before we move on, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. So for a long time, our listener demographic was primarily composed of ingrates. Outgrates. They were outgrates. But in our efforts to cater to them, we found that we were neglecting the many bot accounts that download our podcast. So let's see. Here's a comment from a bot on TikTok. It's a comment on our response to Not That Meta at ye1. They said, quote, "How long have y'all been doing this podcast, and is it actually profitable for you two, or is it just a hobby? Your TikTok isn't large by any means." End quote. Wow, so thank you so much for this feedback. Profitable is a term thrown around a lot. How do you even tell? And it's prof and it,
things just people put so much like value on monetary value.
Yes.
And very little value on things that are actually important to me and you.
Yeah. Like the government, the mirrors, keeping your promises.
Keeping your promises, time at the mall, being able to spend time at the mall.
Yeah.
All of these things have increased dramatically since we started the podcast.
Yes. Oh, the amount of promises that I've almost kept, please.
Oh, it's been huge.
Yeah. Like I've told people that I would do so many things, and I have intended briefly to do them. I told someone, like, I will save your child. I will save your grandma. Yeah. And I almost tried.
Yeah, and I think you can look beyond this podcast and look at the effects of the world. Other things that have increased since we started this podcast. The temperature of the earth. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Company profits.
I've heard about
McDonald's, all of them. They've made so much money over the last few years.
Yes, look at the stock market and how well we've done for that.
Doctors' amount of patients.
Yes.
Especially around 2021. I'm not going to say directly because, but maybe as sort of a side effect of some of the things we talked about on this podcast. So many people were so happy to go to the doctor, hang out at the hospital. We were driving customers.
Yeah, so especially because this podcast started in 2019, and I have seen, like, once we got our footing about a year in, it really started to ramp up. And then, as you said, like 2 years in, we really had it going. And now they don't even track the numbers anymore. That's how good the podcast has been.
People were like, "Oh my gosh, I love hearing this medical advice and all this medical knowledge on this podcast. I need to go learn more. Where can I go? I'm going to go to the hospital. I'm going to stay there for 5 to 11 days, depending on my condition, and actually soak up this knowledge." And I really like to believe, both because of this podcast and also because of directly me and London's actions in our personal lives, such as the things we've licked, the amount of people we've sneezed on, etc., that I would like to think that we played a huge part in that.
Oh, yeah, no, I would love to think. So to that listener, thank you so much. I hope that answers your question. And we're going to go ahead and tackle one more of these questions. So this is also TikTok, a bot. They're commenting on our response to, "I'm going to turn you into a loot box when I open those cheeks and take the loot inside." This is from at IDK what to make my name TBH. They said, quote, "I don't know if I'll ever understand this podcast. Why did you guys just start talking about eggs?" End quote. So thank you so much for this feedback. So I think we started talking about eggs because of the classic question of which came first, the chicken nuggets or the egg nuggets, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. In my memory, we were talking about eggs before this person interrupted with their question. We read these TikTok comments off the second we get them. We try not to be rude. And so me and you, like we typically do in our like day-to-day conversation, are talking about eggs. We're talking about chicken nuggets. We're talking about which came first. We're talking about all of these kind of different things. Omelets, scrambled, throwing an egg like at a person as opposed to in a skillet, which is something you can do. And then this jackass comes in, why are you talking about eggs? And it's like, well, maybe if you listen to the conversation we were having for the like 30, 45 minutes before that, you wouldn't have to ask these insane questions.
It's really critical, the fact that like context matters so much. You know, I speak in paragraph form. You can't just take a little something out of context whenever I talk about eggs or nuggets or not understanding whatever we're talking about. That's within the context of a full, coherent thought. And I'm sorry if I'm an intellectual who's read a book and then stopped reading a book because it was way too long, but that's how I am. Okay?
Yeah. We're not one of these podcasts that's like clickbait and it's all about trying to get a moment, get a headline, get a good sound clip. No. Before you chime in, let me get to the comments there, let me start typing in. How about you actually tell me what I was talking about eggs 5 minutes ago?
Yeah,
you know
so we can
mean?
even figure it out, because we lose our train of thought so easily.
It's gone.
So I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much for that feedback. Now for today's medical topic, Hartnup Syndrome. Hartnup Syndrome is a genetic disorder involving decreased intestinal and renal reabsorption of neutral amino acids, such as tryptophan, causing a nicotinamide deficiency. So Hartnup Syndrome is caused by an autosomal recessive inheritance of a genetic amino acid transporter, okay? Amino acid transporter isn't working properly. Clinically, Hartnup Syndrome presents in patients 3 to 9 years of age, but can occur much earlier, like even up to 10 days old. And these patients present with dermatitis, diarrhea, ataxia, and that's a loss of motor coordination, and psychiatric disturbances. So it's one of these.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt here or anything, but it's just when you've lived that life where you sort of deal with sort of psychic experiences and are kind of dealing with ghosts and hearing voices and hearing other people's thoughts. That is a disease. It's not easy. It's
okay.
It's actually,
you're talking about
it's actually kind of a curse.
Okay, because I know you've described yourself as an empath, a mind reader, and you, once again, you always say this is a curse. I wouldn't wish this on anyone.
Not my worst enemy is usually what I say, which is a thing I invented.
Yeah, and so you'll go to, I'll say, like, you go to ATMs and you get in line and you seem to focus really hard on whoever's in front of you. And you'll say to yourself, like, what's numbers? What's, and you won't look. You won't look at what they're typing in for their PIN. But you'll be repeating to yourself the numbers, and then you'll try to get their card, and then they won't let you have their card. And I guess I just don't. God, is that how you should be using the power that you claim to have? No, I haven't actually seen evidence of it. I feel like you've said you can read minds. But like mostly you stand in lines.
Did I not show you that bent spoon that one time?
See, that's a different. So mind reading isn't bending spoons.
It's all the same thing. It's like the same shit.
Okay. Yeah, no, I get. You know what? You're the one with the gift or the curse, however you look at it. Yeah.
I guess I don't understand. What is the point of these medical lessons if when I say, yes, the disease you're talking about is something I have, you're always like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the whole point of this medical lesson was to tell me what's wrong with me.
No, okay. Let me clarify there. No, it's the medical lesson rarely directly affects. I think you love for it to be targeting you.
everything you talk about every single week is just some other ailment I have. So how else am I supposed to take it?
Some other curse. Okay, so patients with
I
Hartnup
spent 2 months on kidney stuff, and that's the main thing I deal with.
Okay, this is also a kidney thing, by the way.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If a patient is if the patient is symptomatic, treatment for patients with Hartnup syndrome is with supplemental nicotinamide, because as we said, that's a deficiency, and that's it. So this one, I know you like to point out we don't have treatments for other things. This one we have a treatment for it. So heads up.
Well, no, yeah, I can tell you the treatment. It's to not hit that witch's kid with my car. I wish if I knew that the curse that was going to be laid on me was going to be such a big deal to constantly hear people's thoughts, constantly hear their ATM PIN codes.
Also, like, is it that you're hearing their thoughts, or is it that they're talking out loud when you hear that?
And I just wish that I didn't hit that witch's kid with my car that day, that fateful day.
We can move on from that. All right, well, Cameron, you said that we have a guest today. Is that right?
That's right, Dr. London. We have a great, fun, exciting guest.
Okay, and it's not someone you met at the docks, is it?
No, not at the docks. Definitely not. Have not been allowed there in a minute.
Okay. Just want to make sure. I know we always get citations for that. So hello there. My name is Dr. LondonSmith.com, and this is our producer Cameron. What was your name?
Sorry. Me?
Yeah. No. Yes. You with the.
Yes.
And you can hear me fine?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
I can. Cameron, can you hear him?
I can hear everyone, I think. Unless someone's talking that I can't hear.
Okay, what about now?
Yeah, no, I mean, I still can hear you.
Okay. My wife usually helps me with these things, but she's watching her stories tonight.
Oh,
right.
gosh.
Like Instagram or?
No, on TV.
They have Instagram stories on TV now?
No, that's what she calls TV shows. She's watching old reruns of Murder, She Wrote. You'd think she'd remember the killers by now. There's only been 100 episodes. She'll watch them, whatever they put in front of her.
Those wives. Am I right?
I love my wife so much.
Wives are always watching Murder, She Wrote. Have you noticed that?
I have. Mine does.
Okay. So okay.
You guys can hear me, by the way, right?
I'm starting to pick you up.
I had to set this up by myself. I didn't have help setting it up.
From your wife?
Now,
I had to set it up just me, only me.
Do you want us to be hearing you? Is that why you keep asking?
Well, I just am making sure. I'm a little self-conscious. I don't really work in tech.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Unlike
like
your
at
wife.
work, I'll do Zoom meetings, but I have an assistant at the office who helps with that part. And then at home, I have my wife.
Right. Who's not your assistant,
right?
But she acts as your assistant for this.
When I'm at home, yeah. But when I'm at work, I have someone whose job it is to help me. And then at home, I have a wife who we love each other so much that she helps me. I don't have to pay her to help.
You don't... Your assistant doesn't love you that much?
Oh, I don't know what Kyle does in his free time.
I'm just saying, all of my assistants, we talked about the employees here at the Jock Talk podcast earlier. All of them love and worship us so much.
Oh, yeah.
That, like, they're not paid.
Which is... Now, we do have to fire... Like, they're not with the company anymore, as of now. But...
Oh, you had to fire? I don't think I could fire my assistant if I tried. I'm not very well respected in my office.
Is there a reason why? Or are there a multitude of reasons why?
I assume so.
Oh, no one's told you. I guess that would make sense.
Right, okay, yes.
Wait, what do you do for a living?
Office job. Yeah.
I've heard about that.
I go to a big tall building, yeah.
Yes.
I've heard about this. Michael Scott, Jim.
They did make a show. Yeah.
Have you gotten one of the cubicles? the
Little square houses. Yeah.
yeah. Have you got a cubesicle?
Yeah.
Is it pretty
Well, that's
nice?
nice.
Well, I got pictures of my wife and of my old baseball cards. I pinned a few of those up with push pins so that I can see Barry Bonds all the time.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. It's like I'm there. Wow. And do you get to sit in a nice seat, a chair?
I have a chair. Yeah, I think it's missing a screw or something because it wobbles.
Oh man, how's the water cooler talk? Pretty good over there.
Well, that's why when I really pick up on the vibe that I'm not very well liked.
Oh gosh, is this one of those things where like other people are chit chatting, but then you come around and
they kind of stop having
quiet
fun.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, shuffle their feet around.
Yeah.
Well, look, we'll get to what you came.
I
here
do
for
have
in a
something
second,
pretty
but
urgent.
I'm curious
to talk about.
What
like we said in a second.
When you walk up to the people, yeah, because you don't want to be like at the water cooler just interrupting with your thing, right? What do you when you joined this water cooler conversation? Why are they so like? Why are they like, oh, fun stopped? What are you talking about?
They just go icy.
Yeah,
they just go quiet. One guy even dumps out his water and he walks away and he walks off.
Well, what's the water temperature? Do you know? Like, is the water temp? Are they matching the vibe of the water itself?
There is one side of the thing that puts out cold water and one side that puts out hot water. So if you were having tea, right, you could have the hot water side and you press the red button for that one.
Maybe the guy just puts accidentally the wrong one and had to pour it out. I'm just brainstorming here because like you seem so likable.
I'm really sorry. This is what Dr. London does: is he hears a story and he just says, "Well, what if they had good intentions?" And it's like, no, they had bad intentions. I know they had bad intentions. He's a half
I'm a half glass guy.
Yeah,
kind of like freak.
I mean, in the medical field, you're probably working with people who really want to help people. And so you probably meet really good people. I work with a lot of mean people, a lot of mean jerks. That's the business world.
Wow.
This is exactly what I've seen on Michael Scott, Stanley.
Right, those guys are
Will Ferrell.
Mean.
Those guys are mean, yeah.
Yeah, they're mean on that show. The one guy pranks the other guy.
Okay, you heard about that?
That was relatable for me.
How so?
I know they're playing jokes on me.
Well, okay. Could you run us through like just what's arousing your suspicions?
I just know.
Okay, yes, I have had this. That precise thing. Because I can't explain it either. But I know people have been pranking me here. Like, nothing's happened?
Right. Like, nothing's amiss, and yet you know that you've been messed with somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just like, I can't put my finger on it, but I know that my life isn't the life I wanted, and so someone must be pulling a joke on me.
Yes! Yeah. Like, this dissatisfaction with who I am and what I've become, and just, like, sort of the bearings of my situation.
Right.
The ultimate prank.
Yeah. Maybe a prank by God.
But also,
I'm very religious. Anyway.
Which religions?
Oh, I like them all. I dabble in them all a little bit.
Yeah.
I listen to all kinds of religions.
You wouldn't go to Baskin Robbins and just have one flavor every week. You know what I mean?
But you would go every week, yeah. It's Baskin Robbins. You gotta go every week.
Yeah, well, it's my job. I have to be there at my shift.
Oh, wow. You're very mature. My son's 14.
Oh, yeah. Is he a buddy of ours?
That's why I'm here.
What is the reason you're here?
I was hoping maybe some of your listeners maybe has seen my son.
Okay.
Like seen him on YouTube?
No. Last I saw him, we were at the mall. And he did not come home with me.
Huh. Were you his ride?
Yeah, like I said, he is too young to drive. So he just was lost there. I looked around a little bit, kind of gave up. My wife's been really getting on me about it. Wanting me to find him.
Wait. How long ago was this?
Well, we were at the AMC. We were watching the 25th year anniversary of Free Willy.
Okay. Let me try to remember how old whales get.
And then subtract. Yeah. No, let London do his math.
Okay, hold on. So if it's those are orca, those are killer whales. And Free Willy's about one of those swimming over a kid. And if they're 20 years old and they have the 25 subtracted, then and it's the anniversary no less. So you got to get flowers.
And
you got to get
came out
cookies.
in 93. That's an important.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me take it back then.
No, it's London. I'm just gonna save you some time. It's a trick question. They're killer whales, so they only live a couple years because then they kill each other. But all that to say, what you're saying is that you lost them at an AMC in 2018.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, detective.
Okay, he was 8. He was 8 then.
Okay. Hold on. Another math question. Okay, hold on.
Oh no, London. He already told us it was 14 now. Hurry, remove the numbers from your vision.
Okay. No, I guess that is easier to have already known.
I'm sorry. Yeah, when you get London going on numbers, he starts thinking about like infinity and stuff, and it kind of just blows his mind.
But have you thought about that? Like, some of the numbers are actually so big.
No, don't. Just don't. London will start listing some of the biggest numbers, like 2000. Like
I wasn't even. Yes. Okay. Because I noticed that the calendar, if you don't say it like 2024, it can read like 2024. So it's even higher.
Dr. London, you're too focused on the numbers. We're talking about a missing child here. Henry, am I understanding that you like didn't really look around for your child 5 years ago when he was 8?
I looked a little.
And now your wife is like kind of mad at you.
No more sex, she said.
Yeah.
Like
until I find
him.
him.
A while ago.
Male or female?
Until I find him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, no more sex, no male, no female, it's all
Neither of us. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's all a construct anyway. Especially the way I do it. Now, what effort have you put in to try to find your son? I can't tell if you're casual about this or if you're serious about it.
Well, I thought maybe this would be a good place to start.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, because if I'm at the mall, I'll look around, but I haven't seen him there.
Well, that's pretty good, honest. Like that is the first step I would have done, is to kind of barely try the same thing again when it's convenient.
Well, and I would also say London and I go to the mall all the time, and we've never looked for your missing son. So you're doing 1,000 times more than what we're doing.
The amount of sons we've found, we just have to throw them back because that's not what we're there for.
Because you didn't know whose they were, yeah.
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 Yeah, they're like, I can't find my dad. And I'm like, okay, I'm shopping. So.
Right.
So, okay, so this is before now and occasionally when you're at the mall, just checking around to see where your son is, there hasn't been any more effort. Like, did you file a police report? Did you try to submit his picture?
That's a good second step idea.
Okay. I mean, should we just do that right now real quick? Just get that out of the way?
You want me to type it up?
File a police report?
Yeah, well, I was even just going to say, London, do you want to just call the police department real quick?
Yeah. Let me see if I got one of their numbers on speed dial. Let's see.
Yeah, go ahead and dial it.
279.
Hello?
Hello there? Hello? Is this enforcement?
Yeah, this is the police department.
Okay, we have you on speakerphone with a human male. Sorry, you aren't doing sex right now. A human whose son is. Did you say lost?
Yeah, can you hear me, sir?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear us here, man?
Yeah, what about now?
Yeah, I already said, yeah, no, I can hear you. It's totally fine. You sound good.
Okay.
It's alright. Can you, there's a phone.
Cool.
Yeah, so my son's, like, maybe at the mall.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, that makes sense. My son's at the mall too, so I mean, that's cool to have that in common. Is this what you call it up?
Yeah, so are you saying that it's a play date that's happening at the mall?
No, I'm just saying my son's at the mall too. Like, is that what you called it? Or do you just want to talk about what our sons are up to?
Are you me?
I don't think so.
Probably not. But we both have a son at the mall.
At least one.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think most of my sons are at the mall, yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, I
Okay.
feel like he's just saying that there's not a problem at all. Okay.
Yeah, is
So
that it? Just your son is hanging out at the mall? Because, yeah, if so, I mean, I need to get back to, like, work and stuff.
Oh, I see the misunderstanding. He is a child and he's been missing.
Oh, my goodness. Wait, for how long?
He's not hanging out. Yeah.
Wait, for how long?
It's like 2018.
Yeah, I mean, that's about when was this at the Free Willy 25th anniversary screening?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's when I left my son there, for sure.
See, because I was 8 when Free Willy came out, and my
yeah.
son was 8 because he was born in 2010.
Oh, wow.
When I was 25. And so then the 25th year anniversary was when he was the same age that I was. So I thought that maybe he would really like it. And he was with me when we went into the theater, yeah?
Okay. Yeah, sure. Now that sounds pretty cool. It sounds like you're an older guy. I'm a Gen Alpha guy. I'm only 14 years old, so that's just kind of whatever. But yeah, so it sounds like your son's having a lot of fun at the mall. He lives there now, probably with my son.
Yeah.
I really need to get back to, like, real work, though.
Yeah.
So you...
Thank you.
Would you mind telling my wife not to? Because you seem so unworried and she could use a little bit of that energy.
Yeah, I have her on the other line. I can definitely mention that.
Perfect.
All right, cool. Well, love you guys.
Love you too.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. That makes sense she was on the line with that cop because she'll usually call the cops halfway through the Murder, She Wrote that she's watching to report a murder. And they'll recognize the plot.
Right, because that's how they train.
Because they've all watched it. That's what they show them at police training camp so they can learn how to solve mysteries.
Do you guys remember growing up, going to police training camp every summer?
Oh, yeah, sleepaway camp.
Oh, those were the days.
Man, the batons. I did such cool dances with my batons. I kind of feel like we solved the problem. We've really tried, I think. We've put the effort in.
Yeah, I would say just when you're at the mall, keep an eye out, especially when if that AMC is still there.
So, Henry, is there anyone you're a fan of? Anyone you'd like to plug? Any comedians?
My neighbor has, and I don't have Instagram or any of that, but my neighbor has. Jim wears shirts.
Jim wears shirts.
And if you follow him, maybe it'll get to me. Maybe he can tell me if you have any feedback or if you find my son. You just give him a follow. He will probably just like relay it to me.
So if you're out and about and you catch a human adolescent, go ahead and take a picture of them and send it to Jim Wears Shirts. Is that
on Instagram? Yeah. And please make sure that it's my son. I really could not endorse abducting a random child less.
Okay. Well, I feel like we covered a lot of ground here. Thank you so much, Henry Almond, for being on. I was going to say, like, I hope we...
You could hear me. right?
Most of it, no, we did not pick you up for most of it. But Cameron has been working on his mind reading and plugging that in. And so between that and just the various fail-safes we have a lot mic'd that shouldn't be mic'd right now. So usually we pick it up eventually.
With that, we'll use AI to fill in, anything missing. I think we'll be good.
Yeah. All right, but thank you so much, Henry Almond. Thank you so much to our producer Cameron. Thank you to Digital in the House.